Hello everyone. So welcome to this next session on percentages now. This time we'll talk about successive percentage change. We have already talked about the change in base and the basic formulas of percentages. So today's topic is successive percentage change. So let's start discussing this now. So I'm taking a small example. Let us say the price of an article is 100 rupees. This price was increased by 20%. So obviously after an increase, it will become 120. And this 120 was further increased by 25%. So it will become 150. And let's say this 150 is further increased by 30%. So it will become 195. 100 is increased by 20%, then 25%, then 30%. So it finally becomes 195. So the important point here is that this 20%, 25%, and 30%, they add up to 75%, 20 plus 25 plus 30. But if I look at the total increase in the value from 100 to 195, the value has actually increased by 95%. So where from that extra increase came? Where from that extra increase came? That is the concept of successive percentage change that we are going to discuss in this concept now. So before discussing the successive change in three of them, I'll start with the first two. Let's talk about the first two only. That is from 100 to 150. Let's talk about the first two things. So from 100 to 150 itself, I see that there is a change of 50%. The value has changed by 50%, though it was increased by only 20% and 25%. So how has it increased by 50%? So there are two ways of looking at it. First, if 100 is increased by 20%, it must be multiplied by 1.2. We have already discussed it previously in our previous sessions. And whatever value comes now, this value is further increased by 25%. So now it must be multiplied by 1.25. So 100 into 1.2 into 1.25 gives me 100 into 1.2 and 1.25. They multiply to give you 1.5, and this value is 150. But this 1.5 shows that there is an increase of 50%. This 1.5 shows, because whenever something is increased by 50%, only then it is being multiplied by 1.5. So this is one way of proving this. There's another one that we can use here, that is, if I look at the increase in 100, that what is the increase in 100? So in 100, initially there is an increase of 20%. And after that, there is another increase of 25%, but that 25% is not only in 100. In 100, there is an increase of 25%, but there is an extra increase. What is that extra increase? It is 20 ka 25%. 20 into 25 divided by 100. And this whole thing also tells you that the net percentage has increased by 50%. In general terms, you can also write this as that if the first value increases by A%, second value increases by B%, I can say the net percentage change is given by A% plus B% plus A into B by 100%. This is the net percentage change in the value. This gives you the net percentage change in the value. So we'll keep this in mind that I am always writing it as net percentage change. So why am I calling it as net percentage change? Because it is not only applicable on increases, you can also apply it on decrease. Or if one is an increase, the other is a decrease, still you can apply this. So this rule can be applied to any of them. Let us say initially the value is decreased by 20%, and then the value is increased by 25%. So what is the net change given in this case? So I'll again use this formula. It will give me minus 20 plus 25. Why minus 20? Because first was a decrease, second was an increase, so plus 25. So minus 20 plus 25 plus minus 20 into 25 divided by 100. This gives me 5 minus 5, that is 0% change. So you will see if a value is first decreased by 20%, even by this formula I can say 100. If decreased by 20%, it will become 0.8 times. Increased by 25% will become 1.25 times. So ultimately I see it has become 100 into 0.8 into 1.25, that is actually equal to 1, which shows that the value remains same. There is no change in the final value. There is no change in the final value. Now another important thing that you can see here, that is 100 was first increased by 20%, then increased by 25%, it became 150. We can calculate the percentage increase by any of the two methods. In both of the methods, you will see that if the first increase was, let's say, 25% and the next increase was, let's say, 20%. So what change would it make? You will have 1.25 here and 1.2 here. Can I say no change does it make in whatever order you take it? Because ultimately A into B or B into A are the same thing. Even in the formula, you can say it will become 25 plus 20. So 20 plus 25 or 25 plus 20 are the same thing. Similarly, 20 into 25 would become 25 into 20. That is also the same thing. So it does not make a difference. So this also tells us that you do them in whatever order, it does not make a difference. Whatever the order is, the final percentage change would always be the same. The final percentage change would always be the same, whether you do A% first and B% second, or you do B% first and A% second. I hope this part is clear to all of you, but you still must be wondering about the third part now, that what about that 30%? So, okay, we have a formula for 2. So, we have this thing in 2 ways, but what about 3 now? What if we have 3 cases? So, let's come to that. So let me just remove these values for you so that we can talk about that. That what happens in that case, that if you have 3 percentages. So if we have 3 percentages, what is to be done in that case? Let us discuss about this. So first of all, we know that from 100 to 150, there is a percentage change of 50%, right? And from 150 to 195, there is a percentage of 30%. So from here to here, it is 30%. So what we do in case of 3, first we take any two, the way we have taken 20 and 25 here. From those we get a change of 50%. So 100 has changed by 50%, that means it has become 1.5 times. And now this value has been changed by 30%. So it shows that final value becomes 1.95. And this 0.95 tells you that there is a increase of 95% in the final value. Similarly, you can also use that formula thing here. Using this as A and this as B, first of all, we calculate the net percentage change as 50. Now take A as 50, new A, and B as 30, and again use the formula. So 50 plus 30 plus 50 into 30 divided by 100. This gives me the net percentage change as 95%. So which also is one of the ways of solving it. So if it's a case of 3 changes, I would always suggest that take any two, find the net change from those two first, and then take that final change as A and the third change as B, and again use the formula. Because if I use a formula for 3, it will be very long formula. It is something like A plus B plus C plus AB by 100 plus BC by 100 plus CA by 100 plus ABC by 100 square. So there will be a very long formula to remember. So I would suggest not to do that. Rather, go by straight away this method. So I hope these concepts are clear to you. So I'll move forward about another thing now about successive percentage change. You must have heard of these successive discounts which are offered at the shops generally. Let us say there is a shop which is offering 20% plus 50% off. A shop is offering 20% plus 50% off. Now what does that mean? Can we also use successive percentage change here? The answer is yes, because this too is a case of successive percentage change. Let's call this as A, let's call this as B. Use the formula, but write A as minus 20. Keep this in mind. that you have to write A as minus 20. The reason is that A is nothing but a discount. Similarly, this 50 is nothing but a discount. So the net discount is given. Discount means decrease. So we are decreasing the value by 20 and 50 one by one. This gives us the net percentage change in the value. This comes out to be minus 60%. So finally, this minus sign shows that there would be still a net discount, and of what percentage? It is the discount of 60%. And if I take minus sign common here, you can also write this as 20 plus 50 minus 20 into 50 divided by 100. So this minus sign shows a discount, and the remaining value is the value of discount. So in case of net discount, you can always use the formula as A plus B minus AB divided by 100. I mean, the way it was A plus B plus AB by 100. In case of discounts, it will be A plus B minus AB divided by 100. One another thing that I want to discuss here is, let us say there is a shop which is giving you 20% plus 50% off. Another shop which is giving you 30% plus 40% off. So which would be a better shop for a customer? I mean, which shop gives a better discount? So in both the cases, you see that 20 plus 50 is 70, as well as in the second case, 30 plus 40 is also 70. So the discount in the first case is given by 20 plus 50 minus 20 into 50 by 100, and 30 plus 40 minus 30 into 40 by 100. So what is the net discount? That actually depends upon the product of the numbers, because their sum is same. So it depends upon the product of the numbers. And it's a concept of algebra. Actually, we'll be doing it in detail in algebra as well, that if the sum of the numbers is constant, their product is largest when they are closest to each other, and the product is smallest when they are farthest from each other. So out of 20 into 50 and 30 into 40, whichever would be larger, that would give me smaller discount, because they are with a negative sign. And which one would be larger? 30 into 40, because they are closer. So this discount would be smaller than the other discount. This discount would be smaller than the other discount, because here 30 into 40 gives you 1200, and there 20 into 50 gives you 100. So there you get a discount of 60%, but here you get a discount of 58%. So the rule is, if the sum is constant, in that case, the discount will be largest. The discount will be largest when the numbers are closest to each other. The discount would be largest when the numbers are closest to each other. I hope you have understood this point. And if you have understood this point, so we can use it in one another case. This was a case of successive discount, but in case of successive increase, it is A plus B plus AB by 100. Then you have a plus sign. So if a value, let's say X, is increased by 20% and 50% successively, or it is increased by 30% and 40% successively, which one would give you more increase this time? This time I will say that this value is going to give you more increase, and this value is going to give you lesser increase. Reason? This time the formula is A plus B plus AB by 100. So for both of them, A plus B is 70. But in the first scenario, A into B is 1000. And in the second scenario, A into B is 1200. So in case of increases, it will be higher when they are closer to each other. In case of decreases, it is lower when they are closer to each other. So this time you can say, for a constant sum, the final change would be largest when the numbers are closest, and the final change would be smallest when the numbers are farthest. And there have been questions in exams. I have seen questions in CAT as well, based upon the same concept, that 3-4 people, they have the same salary in a particular year. Their salaries are increased by 2% in the next 2 years. And the percentages they gave, they always added up to the same number, though they were in terms of variables, but they were the same. So obviously, whichever were closest, They were giving us the maximum increase in the salaries, and the farthest one were giving lowest increase in the salary. And the question was asking this only, that which is giving the highest increase, which is giving the lowest increase, so on and so on. Okay, let us discuss a question on this now. Pause the video here, take some time to answer this question, and then look at the solution after that. Okay, pause it now. So let's start discussing the question now. So here the question says Ajay loses 20% of his money. After spending 80% of the remainder, he is left with rupees 4,500. How much money did he have initially? This question is also from one of the exams. It says Ajay loses 20% of his money. So can I say that there is a reduction of 20% in his money, right? After sending 80% of the remainder, so whatever is left after losing 20%, he spends 80% of that as well now. So can I say further he would reduce it by 80%? He is left with 4,500 rupees. So how much money did he have initially? So now I can say this is a question of successive decrease, that first the value decreases by 20% and then the value decreases by 80%. So you can use the formula of successive increase, but use minus 20 and minus 80 instead of plus 20 and plus 80, because these are the decreases. So if I use the formula in this question, it says minus 20 minus 80 plus minus 20 into minus 80 divided by 100. This finally comes out to be minus 100 plus 16, that is minus 84%. This means the net change in the value is minus 84%. Or you can say the final value is 16% of the initial value. Because when you decrease something by 84%, it becomes 16%. That 16% is now given to us as 4,500, because he says he's left with 4,500 rupees at the end. So what was the initial amount according to this? So the initial amount would be 4,500 divided by 16%, or you can say divided by 16 into 100. So when you solve it, 16 2s are 32. So from 2, only one option starts, and that should be our answer, because other options do not start with 2. I mean, there is no need to completely calculate this. It will definitely come out to be 28125. So I hope you have understood this concept now. Though in this question, rather than using the formula, we could have also done that initial value is I. When you decrease something by 20%, it becomes 0.8 times. And when you decrease something by 80%, it becomes 0.2 times, as we discussed at the time of explaining successive change. So there I told you that either you use the formula or you go by the multiplying factor. Even by this, you straight away get I into 0.16 is equal to 4,500, or I is equal to 28125. So this, for this particular question, probably this was a better approach rather than going by the formula. But I thought let us discuss the formula as well once we have studied successive percentage change. So let's apply that in a question. I think this is clear now. Okay, everyone. So that's all about this session. Thank you very much.